time equals money. Yeah.
100%. Speaking about time equals money, shall we dive right in?
Let's go. There's nothing that you don't know, but let's answer it again.
I think I'm new to it. Yeah. Let's start off by name, surname, and
My name is Kay Cheytanov. I'm the owner and founder of 3RC. And yeah, that's the question answered, right?
And for people that don't know 3RC well enough, quickly just let us know, what is 3RC?
Okay, so 3RC is all about the youth. We're a youth marketing company that specializes in the education field. We've been going for 25 years, and our aim is to educate, motivate, and inspire the youth with everything that we do. Every roadshow we do, every product we release, every interaction with the youth is to handle those three things. And anything that comes towards us, if clients ask us to do certain things, we kind of gauge it on educate, motivate, and inspire. And if it doesn't fill in one of those or all of those, we just don't take on the project.
Love that. Now, for the people that don't really know you well enough, you love with capital letters, music. From your history and your journey with music, where did you actually think it would take you versus where you are right?
Big question. When I started the company, I was actually a professional singer. And I was obviously, like most singers, I was waiting for that big deal. I was hoping for massive success within the music industry. And while I was in it and touring the country many times over, playing pretty much every festival and pub and club in this country, I just realized this was probably not for me. There were demands made of my life and my morals that I was not happy with. And then I decided looking for other avenues. And my avenue at the time, I started the company by this one idea. I was driving in my car and I was thinking, I need a new audience. Audience for me would be anybody that couldn't be drunk or high at the time that I was singing to them. I was sick of that. And I thought, hey, high school kids. So I phoned a few headmasters and I said, can I come and sing to your matric students? And they said, yes, you can, if you bring some more value. The value happened for me on the way, I think it was to Pretoria. I was listening to 5FN at the time, and the Zone Computer College ad came on board. And I was like, that's it. And the aha moment happened. And I thought, if I can bring colleges and universities that want to speak to matric students while I sing to them and tell them about my story and telling them that they can do whatever they want in life. And it was a big story at the time that I was selling myself, that, hold on to your passion, keep going even when things get hard. Second year of the roadshow, I was standing doing this on stage, pregnant with my son, 7 months. So the story around that was build your future around your passion, build your future around things that you love to do. Things have changed. I've grown up. But that was the beginning of it. And my music then became a background to what I was doing, rather than going after the music industry and rather going after, I guess, fame and fortune. My aim changed to, how do I impact? How do I leave a legacy? How do I share vision? And I think those that have come with me through the last 25 years would see the change in the company and the change in direction that we took.
About your journey, would I be correct in assuming that it didn't all happen in one idea? It was progressive.
Absolutely. I think when people have that aha moment when you start a business, it is literally the tip of the iceberg that most people see, and then they think, well, wow, you became famous so quickly, or your company grew so fast. We have all of those stories that we see all over social media. Suddenly, millionaires, billionaires all around us. They don't understand that is years and years and years in the making. And pivoting wherever you need to. This doesn't work again, let's quickly move over to this. And then that doesn't work again. And then suddenly the world shuts down for COVID. We need to make another idea or another plan. If you are not willing to be resilient every time life knocks you down, then being an entrepreneur is not for you. And honestly, I don't think anybody can be in any kind of career without that resilience, because life will knock you down. You will land on your ass and you have to get up again. And if you don't get up, you won't succeed. It's as simple as that. Career.
I see that.
Without that resilience, because life will knock you down. You will land on your ass and you have to get up again. And if you don't get up, you won't succeed. It's as simple as that.
I see that you're really diving into those moments that you face trial and tribulation. So what I'm going to ask you, and I know you touched on it a little bit here and there, but what was the defining moment that changed everything for you? I see that you're really diving into those moments that you face trial and tribulation. So what I'm going to ask you, and I know you touched on it a little bit here and there, but what was the defining moment that changed everything for you?
There's been a few. I mean, in 25 years, it's not just one moment. That is it for me. But there was a defining moment for me in 2001, beginning of 2001, where nobody knows this. I did a gig in Durban. And by that time, I've been in the music industry for quite some time. Had hits on the radio, did my thing. And yet it was a Thursday night at a rather crummy, horrible little pub in Durban that we were booked into to play. And on a Thursday evening, I think we had about 30 people through the door. And I was sitting there in that crummy, horrible little place writing a song, and I was angry. I was angry with the universe. I was angry with God. And I was like, is this talent that you've given me a curse? And why did you give me this talent if this is how I'm being treated? You know, I'm pity party. So that was the moment where I went, enough is enough. I'm not going to keep on going down this specific road. I need a new outlet. So that was one. The other absolute turnaround was, so then the idea started. I worked together with other people. And then the next big hit was finding out that I was pregnant with my son. That trajectory into a new world was extreme. And it wasn't that I was young. I was 27 when I fell pregnant with him. It's not like it was out of the blue. You know, people expect to kind of fall pregnant at that age of your life. But to me, it was, oh my God, I have to do something worthwhile. I have to be somebody that my son can look up to and be proud of. I looked around at people in the music industry that I was in, and I was like, I don't want them. I don't want my people to look at me like that. I don't want to be that. So that was another big turnaround for me, where the company went, okay, this is not just fun anymore. This is not just me trying to sing to people. We need to make sure that this works, that we leave a legacy. And I had a few more moments after that that had big impacts in products that were released, and the way that I see 3RC and myself within the space that we play.
Now, if you could define what success looks like then and now, would you say your definition is the same? Also, could you elaborate?
Not at all. Success at the time that I started, or just before I started, was having hits on 5FM. It was being asked to sing at big festivals. It was making music. It was being in that ethereal space of creation, which I still miss. That past part, I've changed the how I create, but I miss being in the studio. I miss working with great producers. I never particularly liked being on stage. It was never my big thing. That was just like, oh my God, I have to do it. So success was that. It was being recognized. It was being on radio. It was doing interviews on radio, you know, to say that the next song is being released. That together was obviously hoping, you know, with the fame, hopefully comes the fortune, which unfortunately in South African music is hard to come at. But when I started the business, then it was also, you know, you're chasing, you're a mid-20, under 30 entrepreneur, you're thinking if we can just pay the rent on time, if we can buy a new car for the company. It was that tight. So success at that stage was survival. And success for me now is inspiration. How do I inspire? And for me personally, how do I have time, downtime, to enjoy myself and love my life and be with my family and not worry about tomorrow?
Seeing that you've already got a goosebumps and all, let's get right in. So before the titles, achievements, and the recognition, who is Kay Cheytanov and where did it all start?
Kay Cheytanov is a woman of integrity, I hope to say. I grew up in a very, very strict Christian household and was taught that honesty is the only thing that counts. And to me, that is incredibly important. I have tried to stay sincere and honest in how I hire people, in how I do my shows, in how I deal with my clients, how I deal with the kids. I'm not one to sugarcoat things. I tell it as it is. I am a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a friend. I'm a she-boss. And I'm a woman that hopes to leave an impact.
What was the one struggle that had the most impact in your life?
A few comes to mind, but I think the one that stands out that made massive magnitude change in the way that I ran the business and what I looked for in life going after that was the end of my first marriage. It was tragic, it was hard. I didn't think I would get through it. I didn't think the company would survive through it. And yet it did. The mission was bigger than my problems. So yeah, that impact was massive. And then I guess on the good side of that, the impact of meeting my husband that I'm married to now almost for 20 years. That love and support and comfort has made me the woman I can be today.